women have to understand this. Y'all are hard-headed, and women don't listen. Sometimes.
That's a very likewise statement. Coming from a man saying the hard-headedness, I'm just saying that's a very likewise statement.
No, but it does not matter. What I'm trying to say is she had 8 failed relationships. You're not gonna sit here and convince me that it was not a safe space and guys don't like to talk. No, they're talking, she's not being receptive. Right? Everybody talks in different ways. If you have 8 failed relationships, you don't know how to listen. You do not know how to take direction. And direction is not like, I don't want to put that in a submissive aspect, but taking direction like maybe, hey, you know what? You need to just do this just this way. So then that way you get further in your life. And guess what? Maybe she doesn't listen in that regard. Hey, if you want for me and you to be better, I need you to do this so then I could give you that. Maybe she's not listening in that regard. But women tend to not listen. The ones that I believe jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship is because she doesn't listen to anybody. And as a man, we are supposed to be the provider and we're supposed to be the leader. But if you're not allowing him to lead because you're just not listening, then it's gonna cause confrontations, which is eventually nobody's gonna want it.
Do you feel like men in general, when you take a mental account of you and of your friends, do you feel like men in general walk on eggshells, try to avoid fights, try to avoid confrontation?
Yes. No.
Wait, just hold on. Or are they direct, comprehensive, succinct, and clear on whatever their issues are?
All of my friends, every one of them, and I have a strong group of friends, but I'm also going to say that my friends are pretty much successful in all of the things that they did. And being successful, actually, in one thing, is the same requirements in all of them. So yes, they are direct. Yes, they voice their opinion. Yes, they're comprehensive. They had to teach me to be open-minded, to also be receptive to listen on the feedback. All of us do. When Oliver, for example, no offense, Oliver would never fit in my circle of friends. He would never fit in my circle of friends because the way that we speak about our situations and the way that we address our situations is so left from him. Now, you asked me that question. Yes, we do give. There would never be a friend in my phone that says, hey, yeah, I wanted to talk to my girl about this, but I don't feel like there was a safe space to speak about it. That doesn't exist.
Well, no. I wasn't talking about safe spaces. What I'm talking about is there are oftentimes men, they be like, yo, I don't want the headache, so I ain't even finna bring it up.
What you just said?
There may be an argument.
So if he's thinking there's gonna be argument, you know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, if you are in your late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, and you're single, you are somehow toxic. There's something that's not working.
That's not true.
You've been dating since you were 16 years old. Like now you damn near 40 and you still single. There is something wrong with you. Honestly speaking, when I hit 25, I was like, damn, there is something probably wrong.
This is crazy.
Maybe it's me being toxic.
Is this what I'm hearing?
But why? Men get married by the time they're in their late 20s, early 30s.
But toxicity isn't the only reason.
Okay, but I'm just saying, so you just being single out here for no reason.
Yes,
a man found a good woman, a woman found a good man, you just single and you're not toxic.
Some women don't want men. Some women don't want marriage.
Most women that I know that are in their late 20s, early 30s.
And are they successful and happy
they
in a
are
relationship?
Successful in certain areas, but the relationship thing, I know why they're not successful because there's something
they're your
wrong with them. No, I don't know.
They're your friends.
I know there's men that I know. Okay, when you see a 40-year-old man that's not married, that never been married, never been in a serious relationship, you don't think there's something wrong with them?
Why can't he just choose to want to be single?
But like,
maybe you don't want to get married or something.
The benefits, the health benefits, like
Loners.
There's literally
health benefits.
No, not health benefits. There's some loners, but then also there are, let's say, a woman is not fertile. And let's say like she's dating a man or whatever.
And he want kids. She gonna be single.
Then she gonna be single.
I get, but I'm not saying it's all people, but most people
like there comes to a certain like where you want to balance with someone and you want to have that marriage with someone.
Let's not keep it too many side combos.
Let's redirect the conversation. Just wait. I'm speaking. Let's redirect the conversation to talk about, are you too toxic to be in a relationship? Because we're going off on hella tangents right now.
I got an idea.
Can you take the 8 reason
Yeah.
why.
Okay. So
Let
here's
them
some of the
hear it, 'cause-
reasons that some people fail at their relationships, and with respect to toxicity. So we have we have lack of accountability. You want your partner to make you a better person. You have low emotional intelligence. I mentioned this earlier.
The safe space, Oliver.
There has to be a safe space to be emotionally.
Okay, back to it. This is a hot topic.
It really is.
Aaron is ready.
Thank you.
Finish up, Aaron.
Come on, sorry, Aaron.
And I mentioned this earlier. You walk on eggshells. The relationship makes you feel drained. One of the parties is a hostile communicator. So this is this is what Oliver was pointing at earlier.
And Danny.
One of the partners has controlling behaviors. And lastly, you're hypercritical. And I actually think hypercritical is something
I ain't gonna front. I'm
that,
hypercritical. I am.
that I think
I'm not
we
surprised.
really need to talk about.
I'm not
I got
surprised.
the.
That's an official
Can I
list?
add one too?
Yes.
Can I
And you on all 7.
Can I add one? Can I add one that's not on the list?
Oh, boy.
That made me, with y'all speaking, made me pick this up. You're toxic because you have a toxic group of friends outside your relationship.
I don't have no friends.
Not you.
You are my
You
friend.
said Danny. You said
You're my
you said,
friend.
my
you
friend.
said that the people.
Yeah.
that Danny's their
Birds of a
friend.
feather flock together. I agree.
Yeah, or not.
Yeah, you're the company you keep.
Let's
Let's put it out there.
I went to school, right? So now we're looking at marriages. Is there any marriages that's happening? No, there's a lot of baby mothers that's not married, that are in a single relationship, raising a single child. So there is a lot of toxic people out there.
Single child?
Like, say, a lot of parents are,
This is
a lot
gonna be
of
a long
women are
night.
single parents, right? No, let's talk about it. There's no marriages, or you see, or you want to come to my baby shower, or you want to come to my baby shower. Where's the wedding? Or we're not together though. So why do you think a lot of people are not together right now?
Hold up.
We live in a toxic world right now.
We identified the 8, and now how can we get out of that? We need a healing process, right? After
think-
we just the 8,
Okay.
what do we do now?
Honestly, I think the number one thing a person has to do is be self-aware.
I was just gonna say,
Like
start with
if
number
you
one.
Yeah.
like the only way you can take accountability for your actions is being aware of the bullshit you want.
I agree.
You know, and you can't have you can't have B without A. I'm sorry. Like there's literally no way for you to not be cognizant of the bullshit you're doing and still call yourself accountable. You know, everybody has a journey. You know, no one's gonna make it happen overnight, but you got to start somewhere, and you have to take accountability and quit blaming other people.
Yeah, but
Real
you know,
talk.
sometimes too, right? That kind of like is a very. If I had to take all of them, I could put all of them into that, right? Which I'm not going
Right.
to disagree.
Yeah,
but like,
okay.
but now like the problem is when you put something at a very general topic, right? Some people are going to say, well, how do you address? For example, there's some women or men who grow up without a dad and now are traumatized from whatever experiences that they had to go through. So it's like, well, guess what? It's not the fact that they're actually bad in the relationships.
Anybody ever been AA, Drug Dealers Anonymous,
No.
Alcoholics Anonymous, or whatever?
No.
The first thing you have to do is admit you have a problem.
After you identify the problem, you mean?
What's next?
Then,
Yes, thank you.
then you either go to counseling, you talk to your mama, like whoever you have the issues with, you figure out what led to that problem. But you can't start unless you know what the problem is. Like you have to know what the problem is.
I get that, but what I'm trying to say is the problem, knowing the problem, you know how many people know they have a problem but don't know how to address their problem? That's what I'm speaking. You're speaking from...
No. Don't know how to address and don't seek out ways to address are two different things.
Okay, who cares? It's two things that happen after knowing the problem. I can have a problem like, yo, listen, I drink too much, and I know I drink too much. More likely than not, people are honestly real with their problems with themselves.
No.
Yes, they are. They just ignore it, right? It's like, yo, I know I'm a toxic, hostile communicator. Let's just say this, right? And I'm like, well, I know it. It's not that I don't know it. I know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do next. So this is what I'm asking. I don't need a blanket statement. Nobody needs a blanket statement. What's next? If I have 8 failed relationships, I know that I'm the problem. How do I fix my problem?
I went to get my hair done, and we started talking about relationship and what are you doing or whatever. And while it was brought to my attention, I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just toxic. And she said, oh, maybe you just got the wrong opponent. You gotta know when you dating, you gotta, like, some people date the wrong person. Just like Alan said, you know, you wanna go on party. Some partner just wanna party with their woman. And that's fine with him because y'all gonna party together. Some partner just wanna stay home. But like sometimes you get with somebody, you know you like to go out, but he like to stay in. That's gonna become toxic because he's not gonna watch you go out every night when he stay home. A lot of times we try to make things work.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you something about that
hold up.
one situation, Danny. At first, you guys are just not compatible.
Yeah.
Right? You guys aren't compatible. You guys like two different things. But if you going to continue a relationship knowing that he's this way, but you being you, gonna continue being the way you are because you don't give a fuck what he likes or you don't give a fuck what he's doing, you're the toxic one now. You messing with him. You doing things that you know he doesn't like. He'd rather you stay inside. Maybe it doesn't have to be all the time that you have to stop doing what you're doing. But if you're going to be like, you know, I don't really give a fuck about this relationship or what he's doing. Not to say that you don't care about the relationship, but you don't care about, you know, mending something or, you know what I'm trying to say?
Curbing your activities.
Yeah, curbing your activities for the sake of your relationship, and you're just gonna do whatever the fuck you want to do, like just because, then you're toxic.
But let's just
Wait,
say
hold
someone
up,
like-
Danny. Hold up. So, I think y'all missed it. But Rico and Alan is saying
100%.
some people just don't know that they are doing fucked up things. So what we're trying to get to is how do we wake up? No, Rico said, hold up, Rico and Alan said that like some people just comfortable in their ways, right? And what's next? What, like that's what it is, what's next? And there are some people that don't realize they are being toxic. They don't realize they're harming people. So how do we wake them up and get to the what's next?
personally
so
don't
what
think
I'm
people
saying,
don't
no,
recognize
yes they
that.
do because there's
I don't
times
think it goes
because
over
think of-
someone's head.
hold on, I'll let y'all speak, please. I'm gonna use me. There were times I didn't realize I was bringing the same behavior and doing the same thing. So for Rico, it's he picked up a book. For me, it took me wanting to listen to all these women. Like Rico said, the common denominator, I kept going and it's like you get shot by a gun, right? And a bullet, you running, adrenaline. I'm adrenaline of toxicity. And then I stopped and I was like, oh shit, I did this. My blood has been dripping the whole time. So what I did was listen. And then with that information, I took it and I chose to be a better person. It is a choice. So sometimes you don't realize that you're creating this space of toxicity.
So I
Not
disagree with that. I don't think
What?
people realize
Are you-
the cycle that they're trapped in, but I do feel like people create this security blanket.
Can I ask you
their
a
whole
question?
victim. No, you can't.
You gotta let
There's
her
this whole victim complex,
Not
which
a
is
victim, I just told you.
No, there is a victim. I said there is a victim complex that people hold within themselves to enable their toxic behavior because it is their defense mechanism. Like just what you said. Like some men don't want to open up during arguments or whatever because they feel like it's not a safe space. Then again, if you were really solid within yourself and just within your emotions and what you're feeling, you're willing, you're able and capable of creating that safe space.
How can they get there?
Wait, right? When I was 21, 22 years old, I thought the same way. And I knew what I was doing. I just didn't think it was that bad. But then when I realized and I looked back and did some self-reflecting and I realized the common denominator is me, I had to listen to a recommendation to read this book, to want or to seek out change because I wanted to change. See, the problem is people don't want to change. It's not that they don't know what they're doing. And it's not that they don't understand what they're doing. They just don't want to actually be different.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm saying people
Jody,
aren't aware
no,
of
Jody,
the toxic
Jody.
cycle that
No,
they're
Jody,
in.
Jody,
The
Jody.
continuous of each relationship, the 8 relationships, she was continuously doing certain behavior.
Jody, listen, I agree with Rico because people knows what they're doing. They just don't take accountability for what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, every man I mess with, they told me I don't open up and I don't trust. The next person I start messing with, you don't open up and you don't trust.
deeper
And I
than
just
that.
keep going
So
and
it's
do
a
the same thing.
cycle.
It's a cycle. But the thing is, I know what I'm doing. Like Rico said, I haven't come up and be like, you know what, I'm going to change that. But don't ever think after a relationship, somebody don't know is done at the end of the
So
day.
when that significant other told you, like, this is how you are and these are your toxic
Yes,
traits,
every one of them.
did you in your head, like, for the next relationship was like, okay, well, now that's in my back of my pocket. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's what I do. So let me get myself out of this cycle. And now my next relationship is gonna look different because I'm moving different.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't willing to change my ways and my lifestyle, how I believe
But
things.
ultimately,
I just
toxic
do the-
behavior is derived from
But
just a
that's-
defense
but
mechanism.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, you're
No.
trying to protect yourself.
You don't understand.
Not always.
No, Jody,
So then
the
where
thing
else?
is,
Where's it
Jody,
come
the thing
from?
is, I know what I'm doing wrong. Like Rico said, you know what you're doing wrong. After a while, after like 4, you should know what you're doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is, I just wasn't ready to change that. If every relationship I go to, they be like, you know what, you don't trust. You know why? You don't open up. And I go to the next one, I'm like, oh, you bugging. I know I trust and I know I think that. And I go to the next one, I do the same thing.
Danny, would that be your same reaction after 7 failed relationships?
No, because I know I've been know I'm the problem, but the thing is I know I don't trust for real in life, but in my mind, I'm not willing to change that. Now I'm more like, okay, maybe I should be more open-minded. Maybe I should try and do this. You know, maybe I should speak about my feelings. Maybe I should tell them, man, I love you for the first time. You get what I'm saying? Maybe I should just do that and see how they feel. So at the end of the day, Rico is
have a
right,
question.
because at the end of the day, people know when they not, just like you know when you're toxic.
Question. So let's kind of move the conversation along. So I want to, because we touched on this earlier, but I feel like there's a movement right now. You talk about this all the time. There's a movement about men having a safe space to talk. And I feel like maybe you and your friends are probably a little bit different from a lot of other men who don't feel like, well, I'm gonna say this from personal experience. My personal experience, I feel like, and this is with men I've dated, my brother, cousins, my daddy, like a lot of men just don't broach certain conversations because they don't want all the extra that comes with the conversation. They really just want somebody to sit and listen and digest and change direction. I think that's what we all want when we communicate. But I feel like men believe that women have a very hard time sitting, listening, digesting, taking that and changing directions. So I want you guys to kind of talk about men having a safe space and why men don't communicate because they don't feel like they have the safe space.
Can I go first? Because I'm already gonna be on the opposite side of you. I personally think, all right, I'll be honest with you. I also believe depending on where you grow up will also dictate the type of men you're around. Down south, men are a lot more lenient than up north. This is like almost a fact.
Lenient with respect to what?
Lenient and letting things go, being more nonchalant, being more, laid back. Up here, we are known to be more direct and upfront. That's what the tri-state area is known to be. This is where I grew up. I'm speaking about New Jersey. This is where I grew up, and the people that I've been around, all of them, from the ones that were my acquaintances and my friend and ones that were my friends. It's not even about not feeling that there's a safe space because of a headache. We don't even care about the headache because all of us are like, yo, this is what I want. And it's really gonna be this, it's either gonna be this or you're gonna be not. I personally believe that right now, especially with my age group and my age bracket of women, they are more so independent that they don't care to listen, which is cool. It's respectable if that's what you wanna do. So, but as in retrospect, when it's all said and done, you're gonna have a domino effect of a bunch of failed relationships because you weren't listening, or maybe, well, in this case, I should say, if you have 8 failed relationships, it's 9 times out of 10 because you're not listening or you're not receptive to listening. What I believe is you are not too toxic for love, even if you have all 8 traits of being toxic that we just announced, or even more, if and only if you absolutely value love, right? Because when you value love, you will do anything to change to be in love or be with somebody that you love. The only thing that I can honestly say, and speaking for myself, I never gave a fuck about love. I never gave a fuck about getting married. I never gave a fuck about really keeping a relationship because I knew I could always have a female. It's not hard for me. So my toxic behaviors lasted so long because I didn't care for love. Until the one person that came in my life and actually gave me peace and showed me that, yo, you know what? Love is something to look forward to having. Now I took a step back. I started to realign and readjust some of my behaviors. It's a work in progress, right? But at the same time, now I actually value love to a certain extent where I'm willing to change because I care about love. We got a bunch of people who don't care about love. And they think that they could find love, they think that they could find love or find the same love in the next person. Yo, me and Amanda don't work out, it's okay, there's another one. And I think I'm gonna get the same love over there, but realistically, you'll never get past that threshold of love until you value love enough to self-reflect and change yourself for love.